You're with your Doberman every single day and you just love them more than even your closest friends. And you hate to admit it, but maybe even more than a few family members. Look, I know you want nothing but the absolute best for your dog, and one of the first most important decisions you're gonna have to make is when to spay or neuter your Doberman. So, this could have just serious implications about the health and longevity of your dog. So this decision is just so important. I had to make this video. So we're gonna go over what some of the most recent studies say to help you make this decision. And that way you can have many long years together with your Doberman doing your, sometimes unusual bonding rituals. Fair warning, guys, I'm not a veterinarian by any means, but painstaking research was done here, and I mean hours and hours of it. And this video is going to be the accumulation of everything I learned from that research. But of course, before you make any real serious decisions about the health of your dog, make sure you consult with a qualified veterinarian. All right, first up are the pros of neutering your male Doberman. And just so you know, I'm going to talk in some kind of the layman terms, the everyday average terms for this stuff. If you want the official medical terminology, it'll be on your screen, so you can always go Google it later. The first pro of getting your male dog neutered is that it eliminates the risk of testicular cancer. Now, the risk of dying from testicular cancer for these dogs is less than 1%, so it's not a huge pro, but it does eliminate that risk. The second one has to do with non-cancerous prostate disorders, and it reduces that risk as well by getting your dog neutered. The third pro is that there's something called fistulas which dogs can get, which is an issue in the rear end where kind of these holes develop and it causes painful defecation and some other issues. It's not really common in Dobermans. It is common in German Shepherds and some other breeds, but there is data to say that it reduces the risk of developing that as well. Now, the last pro to getting your dog neutered has to do with diabetes. The data is kind of inconclusive because there's conflicting data from different research studies about this, but some studies suggest that it might reduce the chance of your dog developing diabetes. Now, the first drawback from getting your Doberman neutered has to do with bone cancer. Studies have shown that if it's done, the neutering is done before about 1 year of age, it significantly increases a dog's risk for developing bone cancer, and this is actually a known issue in the Doberman line. The second one has to do with prostate cancer. Studies have shown it quadruples the risk of prostate cancer by getting your dog neutered. Now, the risk is pretty small. It's somewhere around 0.5% or 0.6%, I believe. But Dobermans are known to be more prone to that as well. The third one is urinary tract cancers. It doubles this risk for getting those. But again, that risk is really small too. It's about 1%. And there's no info to suggest really that Dobermans are more prone to urinary tract cancers than other dogs. Now, the next one has to do with blood cancer, in this case, lymphoma. It does increase the risk according to current studies if your dog is neutered. And Dobermans are more prone to this than many other breeds, so that can be something to keep in mind. The next one is blood vessel cancer, and again, the medical term will be on the side of your screen, but it increases this risk by a factor of 1.6. But Dobermans aren't really known to get this condition either, but that is one drawback to getting them neutered. The next one is basically doggy dementia, and dogs can get this, and by getting them neutered, it does increase the risk of this during old age for the dog. Dobermans are not especially prone to this. In fact, dogs in general are less prone to develop this kind of dementia than humans are. Now, data has suggested that neutering also triples the risk of hypothyroidism, which is something that Dobermans are more prone to than other breeds. Also, ligament issues, especially in the knees. This is one of the most common reasons for lameness in dogs, especially in the rear. Neutering does increase the risk of this. I don't know how common this is in Dobermans. I didn't see any data about that, but I've heard of it from time to time, so I know that it exists in Dobermans. There's other orthopedic disorders that can occur as well that studies have shown the risk of increase with neutering. There was even a study of golden retrievers not long ago where they showed that it more than doubled the risk of them developing hip dysplasia when the dog was neutered. And hip dysplasia is pretty common in Dobermans as well, especially if it was done before the dog was 1 year of age. Obesity is another one, and adverse reactions to vaccines. Both of those things, the chances of that can increase with a neutered dog. Now for some of the behavioral changes that you might see in a neutered Doberman. For one, it generally reduces their desire to roam, and this has to do with their instincts, right? Their desire is to roam instinctually and look for a mate. So it can reduce that desire, which can be helpful. It can lead to some shyness or insecurities, especially around loud noises in different environments, that kind of thing, which some people say can lead to fear biting as well. On the flip side of that, it can also reduce aggression due to the reduction in testosterone from the neutering and some of their territorial behaviors as well. So those are some of the possible behavioral changes you might see. Whew, guys, I just hit you with a ton of information, and trust me, my brain is fried too after reading through all these studies and everything. But what's the main takeaway? Okay, so what age is best to neuter your Doberman? Well, the traditional thinking was as early as 6 months of age. Now people are leaning more towards 18 to 24 months of age. And I will give you my opinion, what I think about it. Take it for what it is. It's the opinion of a non-medical professional, not a vet. This is something you need to research and you need to talk to your vet about to make a decision that's right for you and your dog. But here's my opinion. My takeaway from all this is that the best age is between 18 to 24 months when it comes to the health of the dog. Most all the factors for certain conditions are reduced when you do that with very little drawbacks. But the only reason you would go earlier, maybe there are some behavioral changes that can happen if you go earlier and take, like, for example, testosterone out of the equation for the male dogs. It can help with some of the aggression if you do that earlier. But health-wise, that may not be the smartest move. So I tend to lean towards the 18 to 24 months number. But again, do your own research and talk to your own vet and make that decision. Now, there is one decision that you can make right now that I promise will directly benefit your dog and yourself. And that's to scroll down below to that bright red button, hit subscribe, little bell icon that comes up next to it. That way you'll be notified of my next video. And guys, I know this is a pretty serious topic. Talking about health effects on the Doberman line especially, it usually is a serious topic. Not all my videos are this way, but this is a video I just had to make because I was asked this question just so often by Doberman owners. So this is the best information I have on the topic. Hopefully it helps you guys out. Hit that like button while you're down below, and I'll see you next time.